privilege today again to interact with you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, as you are aware, 5 years ago, when I mean 5 years, that is 2 years before the coming in of this administration, the last administration under Mr. Sali appointed a constitutional review committee headed by Gloria Moses Scott. That committee took, I think, for almost 2 years, went around the country, had extensive consultation with the people of Nigeria about the review of our constitution. At the conclusion of the committee's work, there was a conference convened in Banga to decide on key propositions that needed to be amended. And those propositions, I understand 25 of them were presented to the National Legislature. But before going further, let me say there are two ways by which our constitutions are amended. One, or is amended. There are two ways by which our constitution is amended. One, by a resolution of 10,000 citizens, or a resolution of total of our legislature, members of the legislature. And therefore, the propositions on the power that were presented to the legislature, among which were one, reduction of the presidential tenure from 6 to 4 years, two, reductions of the tenure for senators, reductions for members of the House of Representatives from 6 to 4 years. Those proposals were made. The last legislature, 53rd legislature, did not take a decision. This president, President George Manuel, as soon as he assumed his office, based on his advocacy that the tenure for these elected offices were so long, he decided to ensure that some of those recommendations from the CRC's committee work were upheld. Therefore, the president, in consultation with the legislature, agreed to reduce the tenure of the office of the president from 6 to 5 years. He also agreed to reduce the tenure for members of the Senate from 9 years to 7 years. He also agreed to reduce the tenure for the offices, the House of Representatives, from 6 years to 5 years. Among the proposition also on the recommendation was the issue of changing our election date from second Tuesday in October to the second Tuesday in November. The president also proposed, which a resolution of two-thirds of the legislature agreed to ratify a new proposition which is not part of the original 25 recommendations, the issue of dual citizenship, amendment on Article 28 of our Constitution. The president has begun the issue of awareness sometime back. Sometimes it's difficult to understand our friends. When the president started awareness, they say, oh, the president campaigning before campaign time. And our friends in the opposition went to court to prevent the referendum. I'm pleased to note, I want to add the reason of the press conference to call all Nigerians across the length and breadth of this country, including you, the press. The referendum is on course. The Supreme Court has been misrepresented. The Supreme Court did not halt the referendum. The referendum will proceed as planned. And we are asking all Nigerians that these recommendations are not recommendations coming from the president, are recommendations coming from the people of Liberia. So therefore, we are asking all Nigerians to vote yes on each of the 8 propositions that will be on the ballot box. And I say to our friends, when people say there's no sufficient education, my question to them is, what about the 2 years that we took? When I say we, the people of Liberia took, going across the length and breadth led by Gloria Moses Scott, former vice chairman of the Unity Party, going from every nook and corner of our country, seeking the participation of our citizens. They made a recommendation. We are only implementing what the people said. And so this is now a very long press conference. I call you to encourage you. I'll be speaking to some of our friends in the opposition. If you love our country, if you believe that the 10-year office of the president is too long, one of the reasons why we have conflict in our country is because we want to stay in power too long. The president believes that it's an opportunity for our citizens to always go to the ballot box to decide the leadership. And 6 years is too long of a time. I want to encourage all citizens to support the referendum. There will be 8 propositions. The education is very simple. We're talking to the press. You guys in the press will help. If you love your country, the only way you not support the referendum except you don't love this country. Except you are a greedy politician who want to stay low in power. You don't want the people to decide. You know what I mean? When you recently about 9 years, and some of our friends who are running for Senate, they want to be in power for 9 years, and some of them, the Senate does not have a 10-year limit. So you can be in power for the next 100 years if people continue to vote for you. But we think the people should have an opportunity to decide as quickly as possible. So we call you to brief you. It is good that I'm having the Solicitor General just arrived, who will give you who will be able to elaborate further on the Supreme Court ruling. Because as you know, as soon as the Supreme Court came over its ruling, people were celebrating and saying the referendum is canceled. The referendum is not canceled. We encourage you to make sure that on December 8th, I'm pleased to note that the Election Commission just announced yesterday that it is in the process of printing the ballot paper for the referendum in line with the Supreme Court mandate. So I just thought to give this briefing so that people can know, because a lot of questions have been asked, and I, as the Minister of State, responsible to enforce the President's mandate, I thought it was important for me to brief the press, along with my Solicitor General for the Ministry of Justice, who I will now invite to give you a further elaboration on the Supreme Court's position. I guess some of you want to ask questions about the ruling of the Supreme Court.
Thank you. Thank you, the Honorable Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the referendum is on course. The Supreme Court clearly and distinctly laid out that the referendum can be held in line with the resolutions of both the House and the Senate. That means the publication in the Gazette will not be followed because the publication in the Gazette to a large extent were confusing. And so each of the amendments will go with a ballot paper. So there will be separate and distinct ballot paper for each of the articles of amendment. And so for the information, the Supreme Court clearly endorsed the referendum, and the referendum will take place as planned. What the Supreme Court said was that they should revert to the resolution passed by both houses as a condition precedent for holding of the referendum. So The referendum is on course. There will be nothing absolutely to disturb it. Thank you.
So we will now take questions from the press.
So at this stage, we will invite those of you interested media colleagues. You have to get the recognition. You want to come closer so that you can ask your question to the minister. We can just form a queue here, one after the other. Justice Clark.
So if you ask legal question, I'll bring it.
Thank you, Minister. My name is Justice Clark, editor from Lena. My question here is, there are a lot of people, especially in leeward parts of the country, who do not really right. Now, if you look at the time of this referendum and giving the hula balloons, quote unquote, hula balloons with the referendum, how do you think our people will understand what to do when they're presented these ballots?
Yeah, you are quite right. I think the election commission, along with the political parties, Liberians who really want to see a change, it is our responsibility to continue to engage in making the awareness. As you know, these proposals came from our citizens. If you ask any Liberian citizen, even in the leeward counties, they are in 100% support or trying to reduce, for instance, the tenure offices for elected officials. We just need to show them how to do the voting. That will include you as journalists, especially the media, citizens, for us to go. People are campaigning, there are people who are campaigning right now. Some people are campaigning, the citizens don't know them. But they go to the citizens to say, I want to be senator. Some of them, they're not very known. Some of the guys who are running, this is their first time. So the same way they are going to the citizens to give their message and introduce themselves, is the same way all of us have to engage in the awareness. The awareness is particularly important for the voting exercise. How people are going to vote, yes or no. When the ballot paper has been printed and presented, it is my understanding is a yes or no color. So there are two columns. On proposition number 1, for instance, if you agree to reduce the president tenure for 6 years to 5 years, you say yes. If you agree to 5 years, you say yes. If you say no, that means you don't agree. That means the tenure will remain at 6. Do you agree for the president tenure to reduce from 6 to 5? Yes or no? So we then asking our citizens simple. If all decide to join the yes campaign, it's a simple thing. We take our citizens across the whole country voting. For instance, people say, some of our friends in the diaspora, they are against the referendum. But they are the same people, some of them get dual citizens. We are saying, let's grant you the opportunity. You can have your 2 passports, because under our constitution, if you're not citizen of Liberia, you can't own property. So join us. You can own property even though you are carrying 2 Liberian passports. Now you can own property. And the confusion should not be there. The very amendment saying you want to be president, all you have to do is relinquish one of your citizenship, your foreign citizenship, and renew a Liberian. If you're a Liberian citizen, you can become an American citizen and carry 2 passports. You can still own property in this country. But if you want to be president of the country, you have to relinquish your American citizenship to run for the president. So the amendment is very liberal and very flexible. It's in the interest of every citizen. We have to engage, every one of us, including you, have to engage the process by educating our citizens to make sure that they don't lose sight on the yes vote.
We also want to extend thanks to the state broadcaster EOBC and the listeners outside Osorado following this broadcast. Next question.
Thank you very much, Minister. I'm Cyrus Amon. I work for Fabric 101.1 FM. We call on opposition politicians to join the campaign. I think from what I've observed is that the skepticism about the referendum, especially from the opposition and some Liberians, is that given what is unfolding in neighboring countries, the president wants to use this media to prolong himself in office. What's the guarantee
So are
you
you,
give?
are you saying that if Pope become dual citizen, I will keep the president office for long?
What's the guarantee can you give?
My question,
consumers?
yeah, but okay, this president, it's always, you are quite correct. The people are skeptical because they believe that the president may stay in power may run for third term. We've said to them before that the president does not have intention, and he will not. This president will run for only 2 terms. This president will run for only 2 terms. You can take this to the bank. This president will run for only 2 terms. This president wants to be the only president that will serve for 11 years. The president does not have any intention in running for 12 years. If the president had an intention, the president would have waited for his second term. So here's the argument. Even if the president is in his second term, even if the president is in his second term, and the president decides to reduce the tenure, they will raise the same argument. Even if the president is in his second term, like Mrs. Sali was in her second term, and she decided to reduce the tenure to 5 years, or even 4 years, they will raise the same argument. So their argument is to suggest to me that the constitution, that particular provision, will never be changed. Because anytime any president attempts to change it, their suspicion is that president wants to run for a third term. Because if the president changes the constitution today, it means that he can run for third term according to the argument. Even if you go for second term, which is another 6 years, and in a 6 year he decides to change it, they will make the same argument they are making that the president wants to run for third term. Now all they are saying that we should never change the provision of a president tenure. That is the argument. And if the Labrador Court wanted that way, no problem. The president can go for 12 years. The president can go for 12 years and will never change that provision. What's about the issue of the senators? How does the senator tell you go with their argument that the president wants to remain powerful or remain powerful for 3 terms or something? So are we saying that even the senatorial tenure we shouldn't change it because the president wants for 2 or 3rd term? Is that what he's saying? So there's no basis to the argument. There's no reason to be afraid. I mean, all of you guys are educated people. Without argument, you think we'll ever change the presidential tenure? I ask you, somebody can answer. You think we'll ever change the presidential tenure? You guys are educated people. Because if your argument is today, my man, the president changes, you go for 3rd term. Okay, the president will say, okay, let me wait. Let me enjoy my other 6 years. When I say they come to finish, they are change it. They will come back to the and say, but man, the president will go for 3rd term because their argument is once you change the provision, then it becomes a new provision. The president can enjoy that because they say laws are not retroactive. But people will have to trust their leaders. Why you want to be in power for? If the president really wanted to stay in power, we will say, my man, let enjoy our 12 years, but then you change it again. But because the president is saying, even my second term, God willing, I wanted to be 5 years. My second and final term of office, I wanted to be 5 years. Let's change it now so that people can know that I'm not selfish. I too want to benefit from the 5 years. I don't want to be selfish to say, let me enjoy 12 years now other people 12 years. But at least I can also benefit from the 5 years that I want other people to benefit from. So there's no need to be afraid. We are going to tell our opposition friends because maybe there's too much dishonesty among our friends in the opposition. They say one thing and they really mean different thing. You know what they say they say evil thinkers are evil doers, correct? So when you start thinking evilly in your mind, that means you always believe that other people do the same thing. So there's no need to be afraid. Let's change it because senators, they think are separate propositions. The senators are separate. The members of the House of Representatives are separate. The issue of the senator, people want to say something.
And what I wanted to say is that the first time in history since 1847, we haven't had an opportunity of the president trying to reduce his full tenure. Normally, presidents of Liberia will always fight. For example, if you look at it, 1955, the flood that failed. It was all about the constitutional amendment for the president to run as many times he wanted to. But there is the first president in history who is fighting to reduce his own tenure. There is still contention. His own tenure, he said, look, I look at this for long. I don't think I need to be there for so long. Let me amend what I'm in power and let me benefit from the amendment. Say no. So if you say no, then it means the president will stay for 12 years.
Of course. So you want the president to stay for 12 years, we can stay there for 12 years, then we'll still reduce it. But we have to reduce the tenure. Greater politicians gotta understand we gotta reduce the tenure. You want to be in power too long, we gotta reduce it. The people of Liberia want the tenure to be reduced. So we reduce it. The person started celebrating. I don't know why people will be happy against changing the tenure of office from reducing it. A lot of people don't want to be reduced. Someone there running for senator, they still want to be there for 9 years. If you really believe that you'll go do something for the people, then you don't have to be worried. Let the people have the opportunity to always come by and decide who our next leaders will be. And these are the reasons why I want to change the constitution. The issue of dual citizenship, for instance, how does that imply that the president wants to remain powerful for as many times as the opposition is saying? And so there's no need to be afraid, my brother. I just want you to join the campaign. I sure you'll be joining the Yes campaign, correct? Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And the final thing is that other actors that the Liberia Council of Churches are saying that the referendum.
You know, there are laws in this country. You know, there are laws in the country. The laws say after 1 year we should hold a referendum. The laws that they now on sentiments. Sometimes people say the country is the country of law. But the same country people say violate the law. So I don't understand where the vote coming from. Only two options we have. You vote for it or you defeat it. Now what we can do? So those who want to postpone should go and defeat it. But if you know in the interest of the country, then why you want to postpone? Just vote for it because people. Somebody people making an argument. Where were they when the UN spent almost $1 million supporting Global Star Commission? Where were they? Some of these very people, including some people in the media, when the president recently started campaigning for this thing, they say, "Oh, the president violating the law. The president breaking the law." The same people want to go and say there's no sufficient awareness. How you want the president to do awareness? How can awareness be held? In secret? In the darknet? Or we got to put poster up? So I don't understand like people. I don't understand some of you guys in the media or some of them are even lawyers. Some of them are lawyers. Then they go to the Supreme Court and say Supreme Court should cancel the referendum because there's no sufficient awareness or information. How you expect the president to get information if we don't put publicity out? If we don't speak for the referendum? So the country, I always say to you, most of our friends in the opposition, they set an example for you to think whether they really see the book. I'll be speaking to the opposition leader. I know you're out of town. So you got to join the president. If you love Liberia, you got to join the president. My big brother, Ellis Company, you got to join the president. I know he has said get family people in the United States. He wanted to be dual citizenship, to have dual citizenship. Some of us, we may not have family, but we think it is in the interest of the. We may not have family now. We may have family tomorrow. Some of us do have family now. So we need to support this thing because it's in the interest of our country. Liberian citizens should not be denied their right to own citizenship. How do you feel if you are Liberian citizen? Any one of you guys in Liberia now? How will you feel if you left this country? You and your wife left this country. You went born your child in America, for instance, and that child became an American citizen. Are you saying that child should be denied the right to own property in Liberia? Anyone can answer the question. Are you saying that, or are we saying there's no poor woman child like my mom, poor woman son in this or poor woman in this country who doesn't want their child to go to America? Look at this. Big opposition politics when they live in America and tell people to go to Australia. What are they living in? They're not America living. They want American citizenship. Some of them want flower American passport. I challenge anybody in there or who say you want to go to America, I'll give you something. Anybody come on and say you want to go to America, you can prove it that you really want to go to America, I will give you something. Tell me what you want, I will give it to you. You put in here, who you want to go to America? So don't joke. So don't joke on it. Remember, you see where you want to go to America? You president. What is it? Who the entity coming from? Who the entity coming from? You can tell us that, man. The president traveling to the States. Go $2, they'll put them. All I mean, he said no, then you can't. Don't be the first man I'll put in New York. You know you want, everybody won't go to America. If you go to America, you want status. And to own status too, you know you're permanent resident or your citizen. You know citizenship comes with privileges and benefits. Therefore, we cannot deny our brothers in America, for instance, for trying to get an American citizenship. When they get American citizenship, you know the benefit they bring to our country. They always make the argument. So when you gotta make the argument of our brothers in the diaspora, that they bring millions of dollars here through remittances. Are we saying we should deny these people because of what? Because someone don't have the privilege to go to America, so they would just deny them. They need to join this bandwagon. Let's support the dual citizenship. For instance, we need too much in Liberia in October. We say let's change the date from second Tuesday in October to second Tuesday in November. And somebody say no, don't do it. So we just, because it is coming from certain group of people, so other people just have to be opposed to it. Why this country should be like this? If it's not me, it should not be you. Even if it is good, let's tear it down. Why? Why should we be like this, my brother and sister? When something happens, I say, America, great democracy. You're running there, but you undermining your own country. Gentlemen, man, let's face it, ladies and gentlemen of the press. What is the evil intention in the day for? You want senator to be there for 9 years? Every day you're on the senator then back. The senator then corrupt. The way to do it, the man corrupt, you reduce the tenure. So when you know the man are doing a job, if you believe anybody get problem, then you go to the ballot box. The people will decide they will give you opportunity to serve, but you're not doing the right thing, so we're changing you. Or we'll keep you there. But at least let's reduce it. 2 years, 9 years too long. 9 years too long. And these are decisions that came from the people of Liberia. Those are listening to me, Liberian people. You made a decision. Don't let politicians try to fool you. It is your decision that we're trying to implement. So let's reduce it. The president said 5, 6 years too long to be president of Liberia. Everybody said, I want to be president. I want to be president. I want to be president. So we'll say, we'll reduce it 5. So all of you can get a chance. All of you guys are here. Some of you, I know all of you get presidential ambition. Of course, all of you get presidential ambition. But it's very good. Because any one of you can be president tomorrow. Any one of you. Any one of you can be president tomorrow. But it will keep one man back for 2 years. How many of you have the opportunity? By the time you go 12, all of them go 12 to 24. You check your ages. By the time you put 24 to your age, right now you're very old. The country is young. But when we did a 10 years, man, 10 years is 24 years, you talk about 4 years extra. You talk about almost 3 terms. 3 points in join right there. Like 2 points will take it. So we say, no, let's reduce it. So you're not supporting, man. The press people, let's join the bell work on the yes campaign. I don't believe that any president will leave here today and say, you know, I on the no side. Because it's in your interest. It's in all our interest. Some of our men in the opposition, they already getting old. They still want to be president. They let reduce it. He said, no, you want to be, well, that's somebody spend 12 years, you'll get an opportunity. You will not get an opportunity to be president again. So by reducing it, we're getting an opportunity. Because you know the president going for 2. You go for 2, Liberian people will give it to him. Because the man, he will do things that the people will see. Change this country. We'll bring real development here. But after you, what next? I see some of my young friends. Any politician who will campaign against the president, they already know you're selfish. They already know you're selfish. Like, only about yourself. But if you're not selfish, you will support this referendum. The questions are very simple. The issues are very simple. The issues are not complicated. The issue is not about the president. The issue is about the country. I'll talk to people, other lawyers, some of the lawyers I've been hearing, they come with their stuff. Yo, John the Bell, I'll reach out to them. I'll reach out to some of my friends. I'll speak to the leaders of the opposition. So say, look, this is not, you don't have to be opposed to show that you're opposition. Because sometimes in your country here, the only way people know you're opposition, so anything the government says, you got to oppose it. Everyone know you're opposition. But you got to talk for your country. The next question.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. So we'll take 3 questions back to back so that we can reduce the queue, and
Okay.
you can respond.
My good friend,
Good afternoon, Mr. Minister.
how are you?
Good. Alfonso Cho, Warriors.
Alfonso, how are you today?
Thank you very much. You mentioned few propositions. It just says 8, but it's like you didn't mention 6. Can you explain
Yeah,
what
you know, because the Constitution was written, the way the people wrote the Constitution, every little issues were raised in different articles. For instance, the tenure of the office of the Speaker is not in the same article as the tenure of the legislature. No, the legislature. So because those things are different, the pro tem, for instance, the pro tem gets 9 years, but you have a 6-year tenure. So you have to amend all of those. So because they are in separate articles, so therefore you gotta make them separate.
The next one is that you opted for yes for everything.
Yes.
If that goes through successfully, that automatically qualifies president if he wants to continue, isn't it?
No,
President, I'm saying.
no, President, we are running for one more term.
No, I'm saying, but he can be qualified, isn't it?
No, but every Labrador didn't qualify. Every
In that
Labrador
category,
will be qualified. The president still get one more term to run for. And you could decide to keep it for 6 years. You get one more term. The president not going for third term. I can take that one from all of this story. There will be no third term here. Yeah.
Thank you, Minister. Let's take
There will be no
a
third term. You can take my word to the bank.
thing.
Good afternoon, Mr. Minister. My name is Patrick Kamara. I work for GMPC.
So, Kamara, thank you.
How come news about the voting of the referendum by the High Court sunk into the public, and this latest news that the referendum will go ahead?
But
It's still unknown to me.
But because people not reading, have you read the Supreme Court opinion?
My question has a B. Is the executive that what you're doing now interpreting the latest ruling from the Supreme Court, or you campaigning for the proposition?
No, but listen, the legal person for the ministry for the government, that can say to you. When sometimes people don't listen and they don't understand well, they just go by gossip. Sometimes they listen, but they don't understand well. When the Supreme Court made a decision, we just saw on Facebook people running around and say Supreme Court canceled the referendum. But we don't depend on, we don't run government on Facebook. We're waiting for the opinion of the Supreme Court to be delivered to us through the offices of the Attorney General, and the Solicitor General. And when the opinion came to all, the opinion all around, you can read the opinion. The opinion is very clear, crystal clear. I don't know where they poking from their story that the referendum has been stopped. These are the dangerous elements in our country. Oh, they get victory. What is victory? You presented 3 issues. One, he said there's no sufficient time. Supreme Court said no, we can't determine what is sufficient time because already you see the president get posted all in the street saying vote for the change of the constitution. The second issue is say election commission can't hold it December 8th. The Supreme Court said election commission is within her right to hold it December 8th because they say 1 year prior, not 1 year less than. The other issue you say, but they're combining all. Supreme Court say, yeah, you get right, you get each one I want to. The law says you cannot combine everything separate. Election commission. Don't fill any ballot paper that combine the proposition. That's all the Supreme Court said. Then what is it? It said, don't fill any ballot paper in contrary to the resolution. But you can fill ballot paper that is consistent with the resolution. That's all the Supreme Court said. Then what is it for cancel? If you bring that resolution that say anywhere in the place, say cancel the whole referendum or resign from the government today. Because our friends are just lying. Anything they depend on is also lying. They just misled the public. Oh, the Supreme Court, there's no victory. The victory for the people like you. So, bro, join us. You join the yes vote, correct? Thank you for answering the affirmative.
Let's take the last 3 questions, Mr. Minister.
Yeah, Mr. Minister, my name is Chris Pio, and I work for the Public General newspaper.
Public General.
We agree that there are many awareness given to the issue about the referendum. And but do you think that you don't think more awareness will be given in the real?
Yeah, we'll still get sufficient time. We'll do
more
awareness.
awareness will be given in the real vernaculars of that area.
I agree with you. More awareness. And I'm asking you guys to join. We're going to start now. We're starting the awareness now. By this interview, this live interview, and I want to thank all of you guys for coming. But by this live interview, the awareness has started. And all of us are going to join. There's now a party campaign. The reason why, you see, I'm having this press conference at the residence of the President of the Republic of Liberia. I did not go to CDC headquarters to go there because there's now a CDC issue. There's an issue for the country and the Liberian people. I've been trying to call my big brother Tewo Gonglo, but I've not been getting him. I always listen to Tewo. You know, Tewo myself will resemble correct. Because I always say my brother, my friend, my people, I love him. But you're going to join the campaign if you love this country, you'll join the campaign. All I will join the campaign. Even I'll call my people at company, the chairman of the opposition. Don't mind our chairman before, I know what the American. When you chairman, the American come to you, all kind of story. Oh, chairman, you gotta do the one. Chairman, you gotta do. Even the wrong thing will tell you must do it. Or when you love the country, you gotta do the right thing. Chairman should say, when they say chairman, you're a leader, they say you gotta lead. You can't let people be leading you. Wherever I know he's campaigning in Maryland, it's a matter of respect. You're listening to the people's voices. And we join the campaign. Not listen to the children who can say, oh, let's go demonstrate, let's go demonstrate. Someone else, all demonstrations will never be popular in the country. The only popularity comes from notoriety. When you're very notorious, then it becomes popular. But you get something good, they will not join the good thing of the country. So we'll call our president opposition. I'm sure they will join us. Because it is in their interest. It is in the interest of the people in the opposition. You know what I mean for the president to say 12 years in power, somebody will get very old. Don't be praying so we can reduce it 5 years, so I leave the president go, he can be 5 more years, 6 plus 5 are 11. Then whoever win the next time after president, we will go for only 10. The majority of them have opportunities to start running for president in this country. Somebody got 9 years. Representative, then most of them won't be represented. Forget because represented at 73 seats. We reduce it 5. By the time they get it, wasting time, you say, my man, a year running. So you don't got to fight it, man, a year just running. But then after 5 years, your USA join the race. You have a right to contest against any representative. I see some representative there. When you live in a district, so you do. Let me crying to for my job. No, they are not for you. And we are happy that the members of the legislature, this 54, both the House of Representatives agreed that they will reduce that tenure because there's been a war to get the guys to agree to reduce that one tenure. Even the presidency. I understand doing the debate that people went to the president, Mr. President, you really want to reduce your tenure from 5 to 6 years? Why you can't enjoy your own 12 years, president? Why you always thinking about yourself? Why every time in this country is only about self? Why you can't think about the people? The president fight went there 4 years.
Yeah.
The president went there 4 years. Then why you always think about yourself? Let's reduce it in the 4. Some people went to the mind, Mr. President, the frequency of election will be too much if we reduce it to 4. And the country don't have the money to pay. It's okay, I agree with our debate, but we still got to reduce it. Just do it 5. So some members in the legislature are using the second requirement by getting 2/3 of the legislature to say, you know what, we'll change it to 5 years. And the president said, I don't want to be selfish. I want to make sure that 5 years I will benefit from it too. So let me be my first turn and reduce it. Some people don't want to get a president, but why the president reduce it will say that for 12. They will never ever reduce that tenure. It will use that logic of the argument. Because anytime you change, when I do it first term or I do it second term, if the logic is whenever it's reduced, that I can run for a new term of office, I can go for additional. So instead of going for, you know what? Instead of going for 3 terms, I will go for 4 terms. Because I reduce it in my second term, then I will still get 2 more terms. That's the argument you're using. So I will go for 4. Why I want 3? I want 4. If that is the argument, then I will just wait for my second term. President will delay. The next election, the delay, we can wait for 2023 after the president win. If that is your argument, then instead of the president going for 3 now, the president will go for 4. But then the president argument, the president said, I only have 1 more term to go. And that 1 term will be 5. So whoever comes after me, the president will also endure 2 terms, 5 years. But I, as the president, I would not enjoy 12 years. I would not enjoy 11 years because I would have, the people of Labrador would have reduced the tenure to 5 years. So I would not enjoy my first 6 years, but I would not have an opportunity to enjoy additional 6 years. But instead, I will enjoy 5 years. So let's see this as an opportunity to change, to make history, all of us, to make history and reduce the tenure. People remember us for doing this. Most of the young, your children that come here too. Let them have opportunity to run the country, man. The country not for a certain group of people, for every one of us to enjoy it. Next question.
Okay, Lena.
Thank you very much. My name is Ibrahim Cherry. I write for the Nigeria News Agency. Studies have shown that it is an attempt by past leaders to perpetuate themselves into presidency that have plunged this country into civil war. So why do you think opposition candidates are against this breaking?
I don't know. I don't know. Because sometimes I can be asking God, say, whatever happened to the people? You saw you pray so the man can reduce the tendency against the law so you can have opportunity to kind of power you want to keep it. Because you think damn it. When they reduce it when I come there, myself want to stay long so they can keep it away looking. Now only selfish individuals, greedy politicians, greedy and wicked politicians are looking for all the adjectives they use on people who are thinking in that manner. I don't believe that any of the I don't believe that any politician will campaign against it. I want to see the politician that will campaign against it. Any politician that will campaign against this referendum and say you don't want to reduce for instance the senatorial tenure to 7 years because you want to be senator for 9 years and keep suffering at people, then you not a good senator. The Liberian people, any candidate who will not campaign for anything, vote against that candidate. Because you said we should reduce the senatorial tenure from 9 years to 7 years. And now there are people who are running to be senator. They say, no, don't change it because I want to be here for 9 years. So you want to be here 9 years, so the people will not have opportunity. People from Maserado, or from Grand Gida, or from Nimba, or from Lofa, or from Bapulu, or from Sando, or anywhere, Grand Crew, or Maryland. They should have the opportunity to always make decisions. 9 years is too long for time. Someone that been there for 18 years, 19 years, they still going, they want to go for 27, 34, 36, and all that kind of stuff. Let's change this thing. So I don't understand that. My brother, all the questions, so now I don't think that my, but I always believe I did that.
Let's take the final question.
I'm former there, man, I believe you.
The
I'm enjoying the question. May I go ask some question?
last one.
You're tired of asking questions?
Tired.
My name is
This is a conversation we should have more, man. The conversation.
This is news conference.
Okay, my name is Dennis Nipsey. I report for Joy FM and Joy TV.
All right, then.
Okay, Mr. Minister, I'd like to know why is the president picture being placed on the banner that is around? And secondly, is the president pushing for this referendum because of his children abroad?
That's a very good question. Let me ask the question.
The last question.
Let me ask the question. Right now, the folk campaigning, some folk campaigning with Bronskin picture on their picture. So that Bronskin running to be senator. Some folk campaigning right now. I come in. Some folk campaigning right now. They get their senator brother picture on their ballot paper, on their posters. On their posters. The question is, when you post somebody's picture on a poster, what does that indicate? The president is endorsing the decision. The reason why the president, my picture, when people see the president picture on these banners, the people say the president is supporting it. The president say, I support these things. The president go and put your hand on. What is the difference putting your hand on and putting a picture on your ballot on your banner? You know, it's good you ask that question. Because some of the most educated people are making an argument. So you're wondering what something has gone wrong with our people in this country. You wondering what something has gone wrong with our people in this country. Somebody say the president picture. Who told you the president picture will not be on the ballot paper? But the president pictures will be on the banner because the president supports those propositions. And so people are making an argument like no president. Someone else putting Bronski picture, someone else celebrating Bronski, someone else celebrating different people. So that Bronski running to be senator. Someone else get Liberty Party t-shirt, that Liberty Party running to be senator. But they're just using the party as a vehicle. I'm saying, as a vehicle. Why you post symbols on this thing? The president himself is symbolizing his support. To say, I support these things, so join me. So when you see it, you know who the president is advocating for. The president says stop rape and put a picture there. Does that mean what the implication? The president saying, why I always say the president needs to speak for these things? The president got to talk to tell people to stop rape. But why you saying that? So the president speaking and putting a picture and seeing things. When the president speaks, that means he supports something. When the president stop rape, it's because the president's voice is strong. And you can put a picture on this thing because people will listen to the president's voice. So now the great president we have. Even other presidents around the world will do the same thing. So what was the second question?
Is he doing it because he wants his kids to be citizens? Because he wants his children to be citizens?
Nobody, I mean, so that when the president won, for instance, get someone in America, 90% of someone represented here, the children here, they get children there. Someone that are citizens. All the people from the diaspora been running that president children. All the president get president children. All the Liberian children here, all the people here are president children there. But anyway, he's the president of the country, so devil that is children with everybody. So all the people in America are president children, all the Liberians are president children. So the president want all his children in America. Someone at 50, someone at older than him. Everybody to get citizenship. That's the reason why the president want. Now, it don't have to be a biological children. Once you are a Liberian citizen, you are a child of the president. Someone else older than the president. Someone the president children older than him. The president get. Right now, I'm told they in America alone will get more 400,000 Liberians. 400,000 Liberians, correct? And majority of them, if not majority, but I mean, most of them have American citizenship. And there are people running, they calling on, they want to be on TV, and they want to remain in America, they don't want to come back. Except they saying that they don't want it, so they already got the plane and come back, like Brazil can tell maybe Donald Trump, if he was asking back in we go. Don't bring out your crazy net toy. I just thought it a small joke. But it's very serious. Liberians living in the diaspora deserve to hold citizenship. They need opportunity, and we have to respect that. If we have the same opportunity, we'll take advantage of those. So we should not be angry, we should not be upset because it's not all today, so we can't support our friends, our brothers and sisters. And some of whom are supporting us, so we should support them. It's a good thing for dual citizenship. It's a good thing. Even though the dual citizenship has some restrictions, which is also good. Because we want it to be fair. We don't want to give certain people advantage and other people disadvantage. So they're like, you will now go to the States. So because you're not going, you have certain privileges too. So those who go to America, they have, or anywhere in the world, they have dual citizenship, they have rights to own property in this country. So we should support that. And so it's not a wrong thing. So the president not doing it because of his biological children. The president is doing it because of all Nigerians who may have it now or who will have it in the future. Some of us are praying to have it. That's the reason why how many people play TV here? Anyone here can play TV? If Donald Trump or the next president of America come and say, then man, all the American TV you have opportunity to get American citizenship, you will not be happy. If we ain't who will not be happy. No, everybody will be happy. So we should encourage our parents. We should not join this crab mentality. That it not be it can be somebody, it can be another person. Let us be supportive. Let us be more positive about our country. Yeah, when they lay it down there, they lay it down there, put your head up.
Yeah, but there's a gentleman here, so you just come to our.
But most people, when I take it, man, let it woman talk here.
Thank you, sir. You just mentioned something that triggered my question. So my name is Viviana and I report for the Heritage newspaper.
Heritage.
Yeah, you talked about the referendum, not the referendum, but the dual citizenship. There are some limitations that will be Israel with him, and you get to make some of those
Yeah, but
limitations.
for instance, they say if you get dual citizenship, you can't run to be president. You can't run for elected office. But if you want to run for elected office, you gotta relinquish your foreign citizenship. Meaning, you are in Liberia, correct? You don't have dual citizenship. You don't have that extra privilege of being a dual citizen, but you have a right to run to be president of Liberia. So if I want to run to be president of Liberia, I must equip myself to you. So you and myself will have the same privileges that you and the other will not have extra. Because to be a dual citizen, you're citizen for two countries. We say for you to be president of Liberia, you must be citizen only for Liberia. So you can say today, you can relinquish that citizenship, then you get a right to contest. Because for instance, you were born in Liberia. Your parents are pure Liberian citizens, not naturalized, not even combined, one foreigner, one Liberian. But your two parents are indigenous Liberian born in Bokondide. Eh? And you are a Liberian, you went to America and you got dual citizenship. You got American passport, American citizen, and make you a dual citizen. You can come back now in this country and say you want to run to be president. We deny it. We say, even though you get a foreign citizenship, relinquish that foreign citizenship. So you just renew your Liberian citizenship and you contest, and you're on the same path, on the same wavelength. What the law say? We think law is fair. If you want to go to two passports, you run away, then you get, wouldn't be having your property right, your right to own property. Some people don't want to be president of Liberia, but they want to have the right to own property here. You know what I'm saying? And that right should be given to them. We, the politicians, want to protect their positions and other interests. We can say, okay, there are limitations.
Okay, I think this will sum up the question.
Thank you. I'm Julius, content from Fortune TV.
Fortune?
Fortune Television.
Okay.
I'd like to know, maybe the solicitor general can respond to that. At the climax of the entire voting process, whether in terms of the determination of the votes, whether it be by simple majority or third of total vote cast.
So there's already precedent. We got to talk to the election commission, so they're already precedent. The president here on the last referendum, will pass it, all right? So the benchmark that will use will be the same benchmark. When the Supreme Court will determine this. There was confusion whether 75% of people will participate or 75% of the people, 2/3 of the people who participate in the election should be the one that should vote for it. So it means that 2/3 of the should vote for it. Suppose they 2/3 the rest of vote. So the Supreme Court may opinion, I think 2/3 of the people that voted. And 2/3 of the citizens are supposed to vote. 2/3 of the people that voted should vote for it. That's what the law says, correct? Yeah. So that's what we'll do. So at the end of the day, I show all of you will get overwhelming support. Because you're a yes vote. Forget that, but nobody will vote no for anything. Just vote for yes. The yes campaign, gentlemen. Who on the yes campaign? Let me clap for yes. Oh. Man, we're running for office, but maybe we'll change anything so we can reduce it. So we ourselves can have opportunity to run for office too.
The campaign start now.
The campaign start now. So gentlemen, we're leading the yes campaign. So after the yes campaign, we're gonna put a special yes team together, along with my office, along with the press. I'll be reaching out to the press union Liberia, to all you guys in the media. We'll be having a special. This is not political party thing. Let's move political party will support this process. But this agenda is being led by Liberian citizens. The reason why I've been speaking to our friends, some of our major institutions. I'll even go speak to the council of churches. Maybe they need some understanding. I'll go speak to the council of churches president, who's my big brother. Big brother of mine, Bishop Cotto Brown. Very reasonable person. Very reasonable. When people got understanding, sometimes they're sworn down, they need some understanding of the law. They just need some understanding of the issues. I don't think they have any personal interest in trying to stop it. Because the bishop does not want to run for office. But what the bishop want to see is the good for our country. And I'm sure, Bishop, wherever you are, as a big brother, you will join me and join the country in this process, join the president. We'll try to change it. I'll be talking to my big brother, Tewo Gomlo, wherever Tewo is. You're listening to me, the big brother, you will understand that this is not for party, this is about your country. We all got to join this process. and our friends in the opposition, the opposition chairpersons, political parties, standard bearers. We shouldn't be selfish. This is not a victory for CDC or for the president. This is a victory for our country. So join the process. We'll be talking to everybody, civil society organizations. My man, or whatever name, Blue, whatever Blue bought him from, Oscar Blue, you were one of the men who was saying president of violating the constitution by campaigning soon. I don't know where they want to go, but Oscar, you my man. Forget that thing. Come on, Blue. Let's join the process. Let's join the process. This is in our country's interest. We'll join everybody, civil society organization. I want to thank you. And we'll continue to hold this thing. I'll be talking to the means of information to bring the press, to get the press involved. This is a victory for our country. It will be a victory for our country. Your children will remember that you play a role in trying to make sure you're getting hope, political hope. Political hope. So I talked to the means of the press director here. The deputy press director, the press secretary, deputy press secretary, deputy minister for information here. Office will be here. We'll be talking to every member. We'll be talking to all the people that got up with the vernaculars. We'll be speaking in different dialects beginning this week. We gotta lead the campaign. The electoral committee just announced to you that they are printing the ballot papers. There'll be different symbols. For instance, I'm told they have the passport for dual citizen, correct? The passport. They get a big chair for reduction in turning for the year. When you vote for the big chair, when you see the chair big, just vote for it. But then you see the big chair, you vote for it. Don't look at the small chair. Look at the small chair. Okay, don't vote for the big chair. The big chair are greedy people. The big chair are for greedy people. Vote for the small chair, the small one. Because the big chair, they want to eat plenty. They want to eat everything. So don't vote for the big chair. Vote for the small chair. It's not reduced. Anyway, you see the small chair, vote for it. Anyway, you see, well, the rainy season, the sun and the rain, yeah?
Yeah, November and then October.
The sun are for November, correct?
Yeah.
Hey, you vote for the sun.
For dry season.
With dry season. Because the campaign in the rainy season is tough. October is tough. So the electoral committee coming with the symbol. We'll all be in that process. We'll be reaching out to you guys. You know what I'm saying? We'll be reaching out to you guys. I want you guys, each and every one of you to join the process. I'm speaking as the Minister of State, not as a CDC president. I want you guys to join us. So we're going to set up a special yes campaign movement. That all the presidents, all you guys who are here will be part of it. Will be at our own meeting. You know what I'm saying? We'll join the president, my man, Alfonso Tuet. Very radical guy. They give me hard time. Alfonso Tuet, you got to be part of the process here. You got to be inside. You know, what a man sending. You know what I'm saying? Tima, I know you. All of that, but Tima, what here? You got to join the president. Play with that. Oh, my man, play with that. Run this here.
Philip Brown.
All the brothers gotta come. But man, all of y'all gotta come. We gotta join the president. If our country, but man, you guys don't want to be, you don't want to run for office, but we gotta reduce the tenure so we can hold it. We can hold it down and run for office accountable. We gotta hold it and run for office accountable. Philip Brown, but people don't Philip. Where you at? I don't know Philip yet. Philip, you down?
He's listening to you.
Philip, you down?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Philip's a very nice guy. Very nice. Very brilliant gentleman. Very smart. Yeah, very smart. I love Philip. Smart guy in the press. Look at him, smart media guy is smart. Don't get me wrong now. That's some media guy there. I don't think that's correct. Yeah, I want to pray all the media people. Yeah, that's true. One of the guys, he kept my recording around. I didn't go to the. I don't even know where the food came from. The message McGill said they make that from food. Can you imagine that? My boy all around there. I don't even know where the food came from. What are true? I don't even know, but the man said the man changed the whole thing right there. McGill said the man that. How you can say that, man? How you can say that? Then he sent me text message. He said, "My man, sorry for what I said," but he said put my recording on so that he can be laughing. You know, when you enjoy a book and say, "But don't worry, don't man, I want to enjoy you." Then McGill try, "Oh, I tried it before." I said, "I can't even to see people killing chickens and high war." And you say, "Well, I already behind you." But all of us gotta join this process. So we're leaving for here today. This is the beginning of change for our country. Don't worry for senators and let them do their campaign, but they gotta help us. So we'll charge them that if you don't campaign for reduction in your tenure, they put you vote against you because you are against the people. You are against the people. So we're going to, our press secretary, we're going to make sure that we set up a very robust campaign committee on the referendum, the yes vote movement. We gotta launch it. We're gonna launch it along with the media. I'm gonna speak to Charles Coffey, president of the press union. I'm gonna speak to the independent. Look at different groups in the press union, correct? The publisher association. Remember, what they call the publisher association? Yeah, I'm gonna speak to you guys. We're all gonna be there in Mondo. This is about country, man. This is about like Europe. It's not about political party. Let's make history together. Yeah, so I told you, we'll be part of it. We'll be part of it. Let's make history together, gentlemen. This is a special appeal. Let's make history together. Let's make our country great. You know what I'm saying? People remember us. Don't mind the greedy politicians who want to be power. People remember when we're not around it, people say, these are the guys who led the movement and said they wanted to reduce spending. I hear one senator always saying we got ready because you so you're being around for a challenging day, nothing happening. One thing, something for the country. Every day you want to be opposed to everything. So I want to tell you thank you. So I'm going to ask the press secretary to work closely with the media. The media is very, very critical to make sure that we run the campaign here. We get about 14 days, correct? Today the what? Today the 23rd. So we'll get 14 days. Intensive media campaign, EFBC, all the talk show people, the journalists, the different Facebook people. Guys, let's do it, man. Let me get happen. Let's get the job done. We'll celebrate together. We'll marry me together after the victory. We'll not be the party together. We'll find our own party. The independent voice party, the people of our party. To celebrate the victory and enjoy ourselves. So thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Minister
That's the
McGill,
voice
for
of the presidential
the press stakeout.
presidential
And again, we want to extend
the
thanks
voice of
on
the
behalf
minister
of the Office
of
of the
McGill.
Minister of State. Before you
Now,
all leave, I got a very
media coordinator.
important announcement. I hope you still got some of the gadgets on, especially for those of you who view us monitoring your Facebook Live. On tomorrow, the Attorney General, along with the Solicitor General of this country, will be at Mika press briefing at 11 o'clock. The sole purpose of that assembly tomorrow will be the release of the report on the death of the 4 auditors. For that reason, our executive marshal press briefing tomorrow will be cancelled. So we want you to pay attention to the investigative report that will be coming up tomorrow by the media platform at the Ministry of Information, Culture, Affairs and Tourism. Again, we'd like to say thanks to all of you for coming. We hope you enjoy the media engagement. We'll do more of this in subsequent times to come. Thanks to your viewership and thanks for coming as always.
That's how go to the end of it. Thank you.